Good Friday afternoon. First at noon, your voice, your vote. And West Michigan is once again the focus in the campaign for the next president. Former President Donald Trump expected to speak 2 hours from now in Walker. We have team coverage on his visit today. 13 on your side's Callie Lichter is talking with supporters gathered before the event. But we begin with political reporter Joshua Albertus, who is live in Walker with a preview of Trump's visit. And Josh, we're hearing the former president is expected to focus on the economy in his address.
That's right, Deja. We're at a panel production facility here in Walker, and you can see it right behind me, actually. You see in big, bold letters, you can't miss it, jobs, jobs, jobs. So you can expect, we're all expecting for this to really center heavily on the issue of the economy, which recent polls or any indication has remained a top, if not the top issue for voters in this election. Trump and his running mate, Senator J.D. Vance, have really honed in on this message in their recent visits that the Biden-Harris administration, the economic policies that they've instituted have just left workers behind in this key Rust Belt state. The Harris campaign has sought to push back on that narrative, really focusing on things like that she should and can be the one that can be trusted on the economy, focusing on things like the economic fallout of the COVID-19 pandemic at the tail end of the former president's term, as well as things like the 2017 tax legislation that Republicans in Congress really championed and was meant to slash corporate tax rates, but also some estimated could add over $1 trillion to the national deficit. But despite those messaging points and attempts from the Harris campaign, many polls have suggested pluralities of voters here in Michigan and around the country do still favor Trump on the economy over Harris, but some of those have gotten much closer in recent weeks, and so that's why you've probably seen the campaigns kicking it into high gear to sway perhaps more middle-of-the-road voters on this all-important issue. Trump making stops like this, continuing an emphasis on a vision of siphoning jobs from competitors like China, and even possibly putting in place wide-ranging tariffs on foreign goods, perhaps to spur more domestic production. And Harris releasing more details on her economic plan just this week as well. And ahead of this visit, of course, we're going to have to hear what the former president has to say, but the state Democratic Party chair putting out a statement just this morning in response, preempting this visit, saying, quote, "At the end of the day, Trump will always serve himself and his interests, no matter how it affects anyone else. Thankfully, Vice President Kamala Harris and Governor Tim Walz are champions for the middle class who will take on bad actors, gouging Michiganders, and continue to bring back jobs, the jobs that Trump lost." That's in part, quote. People are starting to get in here, and we are expecting the former president to start speaking around 2 o'clock this afternoon, so we will have much more coming up at 5 and 6. For now, live in Walker, Josh Albertus, 13 on your side.
Josh, thank you. Now, people attending Trump's speech, they started gathering early this morning. Ticket holders had to park at the former Deltaplex and will be bused to the event. 13 on your side's Callie Lichter spent the morning talking with supporters and joins us live now. Callie, I'm sure it's a whole lot of folks out there. How's it going?
Deja, since we got here a few hours ago, we have seen hundreds of supporters load these coach buses on their way to see the former president talk later this afternoon. We're going to give you a quick look at the hundreds of people who are still lining up here at the former Deltaplex. Some of the biggest points supporters want the former president to touch on today are abortion, economy, and the border. Many supporters told us they're concerned with undocumented immigrants coming into the country, specifically from the southern border, and believe a Trump presidency will solve what they believe is an immigration crisis. Supporters Sean Sheltema and Gwen Hancock are both from West Michigan, but it will be the first time they see the former president.
He's a great guy, and he's the right person for the country. I mean, the country is in a dire state right now, I believe, and that's why we're here. It's our first one. We're super excited.
Yeah, there's a lot of good points, and I've been a Trump supporter since way back when. So, I voted for him in 2016 and 2020, which I'm sure he should have won, but that's here nor there right now.
Sheltema and Hancock also say rallies like this one show that West Michigan does have a strong Trump supporter base. I'll give you one last look at the, like I said, hundreds of people still lined up. There's about 6 coach buses. Well, we've been out here, we haven't seen those 6 buses leave, but the line is only getting longer. Live at the Deltaplex in Walker, I'm Callie Lichter, 13 on your side.
Callie, thank you so much.